What's going on, people? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all, this video is a video that I've been meaning to make for a while. As y'all know, a lot of my videos are like this. I've been meaning to talk about a lot of these topics for a while, but what happens is something occurs or I see something that strikes a chord within me to make the videos like the one I'm about to make today. So I was watching, I'm a frequent viewer of Vlad TV. Right, Vlad TV is a YouTube channel from DJ Vlad. On Vlad TV or on DJ Vlad's channel, he has an array of different celebrities or entertainers, politicians, philosophers, educators. He has a lot of different, a wide array of different people on his platform, and they provide commentary on issues, a lot of different issues going on in America, in the world, and in the black community. One individual that he has on a lot is BG Knockout. BG Knockout is a rapper from Compton. He's a Crip rapper that came up under Eazy-E, right? A dope rapper too. In the 90s, that came up under Eazy-E. And he's a frequent guest on Vlad's platform, and they talk about a lot of different things. So in this video that I saw yesterday, they were discussing Drew Brees and how Drew Brees took this staunch stance against the silent protest, the taking a knee protest in the NFL. Which was started by Colin Kaepernick, right? And so during this conversation, they shift to another topic, and they talk about Michael Jordan in particular. They talk about how Michael Jordan never lent his voice to social issues involving black people. He never wanted to talk about racism or race issues involving the black community. He never really wanted to stick his neck out for the black community or even talk about anything dealing with black issues until recently, right? And so BG Knockout goes to ask Vlad. He asks Vlad, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael Jordan went to college, right? To which Vlad responds, yes. And then he asks Vlad, is Michael Jordan a part of a fraternity? And Vlad responds, yes, he is, because Michael Jordan is a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, right? And so BG Knockout goes to say that it doesn't surprise him, or that would explain why Michael Jordan has never really took a strong stance against police brutality or other issues affecting the black community. He goes on to say that, you know, a lot of older black men in fraternities, they're not built to rock the boat on certain issues involving the black community. They're just not built to rock the boat on certain issues. They're not cut like that. Or he alludes to the fact that because of higher ups in society, that older black men in fraternities, they can't say certain things, or they can't speak on certain issues involving the black community or certain issues, social justice issues. They can't speak on those things, and they're not cut like that. You know, they don't lend their voice to those issues because they can't be, or, you know, they just not built in that type of way. To which I strongly disagree, right? Now, I understand, right? Me personally, I'm going to let y'all know, I am a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, right? And with me being a part of this organization, you become aware of the individuals who are in your organizations and other Divine Nine other organizations as well, right? So I know that Bill Russell, one of the biggest voices for black advancement and racial equalities in the 60s, is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, right? Bill Russell was on the front lines fighting for black people to receive equal rights as their white counterparts. He was always speaking up for black issues, and he was doing it in the 50s and 60s in the city of Boston during his playing days, right? Where he could have possibly been kicked out of the league or killed in a racist town like Boston, because I heard back then Boston was extremely racist, right? And even today I hear stories that, you know, what I hear about what goes on at Fenway Park where the Boston Red Sox play, and I still hear is extremely racist to this day, right? But Bill Russell was a black man that was on the front lines fighting for a racial equality for black people, and for black people to be looked at as human, just like every other person, or just like their white American counterparts in America, right? And also in this present day, many people don't even know this. Colin Kaepernick is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, right? And he is a person who has been on the front lines, who risked his job. He risked his job in the NFL to bring awareness and attention to the fact that black men and women were being unjustly killed by law enforcement while they were unarmed. He brought awareness to that, and he spoke about it so eloquently after the games, and he talked about it all the time, and brought a huge amount of attention to what was going on in America, and he made people sit and have these uncomfortable conversations that a lot of people don't want to have. So I strongly disagree with, you know, older black men in fraternities not being with, they don't rock the boat, or they don't want to speak about certain things because they can, or they not built like that. No, Michael Jordan just not built like that. Not other black men in fraternities. But that conversation leads to me making this statement, right? I've always seen that there is a disdain that people have, that people have for black fraternities and sororities. Like the black community, it's people in the black community that have a disdain towards these black Greek letter organizations. And I always hear people say this. Why do these kids want to go to join? Why they want to be everything but black? Why y'all want to be? Why y'all want to praise Greek culture? Why y'all praising Greek culture? Why y'all want to be Greek? Why these black colleges got Greek organizations on campus? Why y'all want to be Greek? Why y'all can't have African organizations? Why y'all want to be Greek? Let me explain something for y'all, because I know a lot of y'all, a lot of people only speculate because they don't really know. And when you don't know, you're just going to speculate, right? These organizations are Greek in name and lettering only. Once again, these organizations are Greek in name and lettering only. That's it, right? We don't praise no Greek gods. We don't worship Greek gods or nothing like that at all. Everything from the steps to the strolls, from the choreography that you see to the rhythm that we display when we stroll and when we step, that is black culture. Stepping and dancing and rhythm, that's black culture to the T. Also, these organizations were created by black men and women during a time where black men and women were extremely oppressed in America, like to the highest degree. We still oppressed to this day, but it was like we were white America was like pushing us down and had their foot on our necks at all times during that time period, right? Just like they do today. Just like they do today, but it was to another degree back then. And these black men and women created organizations to help black people recognize that they could be more than just labor workers, more than just maids and custodians, and more than a person that swept a broom and a mop, or just be a nanny to other people, to white parents' children. They could be way more than that. They could be doctors, lawyers, dentists. They could be educators. They could be our ancestors' wildest dreams. And these organizations help young black men and women recognize that and help them understand that they can rise above what society deemed that they were good enough for. You know, you could be way more than a janitor. You could be way more than what these people think you are. You know what I mean? You could be great, and you could be powerful contributors to society, contrary to what was spoken, contrary to the rhetoric spoken to black people during that time period. These organizations were built by black people, created by black people to uplift black people and encourage black advancement above racial prejudice, racism, and bigotry of the highest degree back then. So I don't like when people try to act like these organizations were founded for nothing. You know, these founded by black people. And the reason why they use these black lettering, of course, they knew they had to, in order for these organizations to even be remotely accepted or even slightly accepted on campuses, they had to make it in similar images, and like they had to make it at least a little bit similar to their white counterparts, the organizations that their white counterparts created. So they used the Greek lettering to show that, hey, we're just another organization, kind of like the other white fraternities, but it had a much deeper purpose than what the other organizations had. It was much deeper than that. It had a purpose to help black people advance above racial prejudice during that time period. Right. Furthermore, in present day, I don't like when because this is the thing too. I hear a lot of people, you know, talk about what do these organizations do for the black community? What they do for the black community? What y'all doing for black people? Y'all don't do nothing for black people. And I always feel some type of way about that, because especially when I hear black dudes that are active gang members say that. And I say that no disrespect, brother, but you can't question what you can't question what black Greek letter organizations do for black people if you're an active gang member and you out here shooting at your brothers and sisters every weekend. We're out here attacking your brothers and sisters every weekend, and you pushing drugs into the black community, right? And you're encouraging other black men to be gang members and dope dealers in your own community. I can never respect that, or I don't even accept your criticism if you're an active gang member. I don't even respect that or accept your criticism. But let me move forward, right? Because people always ask, what are they doing for black communities, right? And to that I would say fraternities, black fraternities that I know have donated over $1 million to organizations that help parents in need. They help the black communities that are impoverished. I've seen with my own eyes. I've seen fraternities, and I've been a part of this. Fraternities donating to food banks, donating to schools. I've seen fraternities help to rebuild playgrounds for children in the black community so that they don't venture off into negative activities. A lot of times, particularly when I went to school in the South, right? Because the black Greek letter organizations, the culture is not as strong in the Midwest and the North, and the West is not as strong as it is in the South, right? In the South, the black Greek letter culture is extremely prevalent and strong, right? And so I witnessed that a lot of the times the fraternities were the main black men who were always being role models to the black kids in the community. They were the ones who were consistently, on a consistent basis, mentoring young black children all the time. They were the ones who were oftentimes being fathers to a lot of these kids in the impoverished black communities in the South. I would see it all the time. The black fraternity guys were the ones that was coming and giving back to the neighborhoods, right? So you can judge fraternities off parties. You can judge fraternities off some ignorant people who were involved in hazing. Those individuals often join the organizations for all the wrong reasons, right? But I'm going to tell you, I've experienced these organizations doing way more good than bad, which is why I became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, right? I saw what they did for the black communities all the time and what they did for me in particular, right? And people always ask, why join these organizations again? Why you joining? Why you want to pay for friends? Why you want to be a follower or whatever? First of all, man, I think people got to realize that black people are tribal by nature, right? And when we get somewhere, we become attracted to organizations, whatever organization or whatever is going on that can help us get away from poverty as best as possible. Whether it's a poverty as far as financially or poverty within the mindset, right? If you see an organization that's doing good, that's helping brothers elevate their mind beyond despair, elevate their mind to prosperity, elevate their mind to recognize that they could be successful black men and they can be powerful contributors to society while always giving back to their people and putting their people first all the time, you're going to go join their organizations because you say, I want to be what them brothers about. They young professionals. They hold themselves accountable for their actions. They, they're individuals who are always giving back to their communities all the time. You're going to be attracted to that. You're going to be attracted to the individuals who want to better themselves and want to see better for their people. You know what I mean? You're going to be attracted to the guys that's out here doing good in school, making the good grades, because you have to have a solid GPA to be a member of these organizations. You can't just be clowning around doing nothing in school to be a member of these organizations. You see, you know what? That's a brother that's on his job, or that's a sister that's on her job. These sisters are doing what they got to do in their studies. These brothers are doing what they got to do in their grades. And then also our social club that are dedicated to doing community service for the people. So you're going to want to gravitate to that, especially when you see those brothers go on to have great jobs in corporate America, great jobs in all different type of fields. You're like, man, I really want to be a part of something like that because these brothers are uplifting one another. So you're going to be a part of that. The same way you see some dudes in the hood join gangs, because we're tribal. Black people are tribal by nature, and to those black people in their mind, they believe that, you know what, if I'm a member of this fraternity, if I'm a member of this organization, I can escape poverty in the best way possible. I can escape poverty and do something better for myself if I join this gang, which is the furthest from the truth. But I see it a lot of times. Black people are tribal by nature, so they get attracted to these gangs. But it's the same way that black people become attracted to these black Greek letter organizations, right? And I've seen comments from people saying that we sell our souls to get in these organizations and we are involved in devil worship. Fam, let me just say this. I would never be a part of something crazy like that in my life, right? I'm in a fraternity, and I've never compromised my manhood, my integrity. I've never compromised my morals at all, and I never, ever, ever will. And that's on my mama. I would never do that. I would never compromise my integrity to be a part of an organization. If I had to be a part of an organization where I had to compromise my manhood in any way, I would never be a part of it, right? These fraternities and sororities are what they are a group of individuals with common ideals who do humanitarian work. They do community service to serve the communities and uplift their people in the best way possible, right? Now, again, you do have some people who have had negative experiences with these people in these fraternities, or you have some people in fraternities and sororities that have had negative experiences with people in their chapters, and they come out and tell stories about these negative interactions. But what I want to say is you cannot put the actions of a few on the entire organization as a whole. You can never do that. You know what I mean? And a lot of black people, again, talk negatively on black fraternities. A lot of them are only simply speculating. You know, because they're speculating what they believe the organizations to be about because they're not in the organization. So they only speculating what they hear, right? I've seen black men in fraternities serve as mentors, tutors, and again, even fathers to young black men in the black communities, right? They serve these communities. I've seen them serve communities that are ailing from social economic disparities all the time, right? I witnessed black men in fraternities buy suits, shirts, and ties for young men in high school. I seen them buy suits for kids in elementary school. I seen them help other grown men who are down on their luck. Honestly, I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen black men in fraternities instill job readiness skills into young men and help them stay on the path towards graduation. I seen them help young black men form their resumes. I seen them prepare young black men for the rigors of corporate America or the rigors of being entrepreneurs. I've seen individuals in fraternities inspire young black men to be entrepreneurs, businessmen, and be their own business owners and elevate and get to a level of economic prosperity to where they can help their people and come back and bring up other young brothers and sisters with them along their journey. So I can never understand the disdain towards black fraternities. I can never understand it. You know what I mean? I can never agree with it 100% because I've seen these organizations do a lot of good for our people. I've seen them give back, and I've seen them help a lot of our people in despair, whether they were homeless, so on and so forth, man. When I was in college in particular, I remember members of Kappa Alpha Psi taking me in like I was their little brother, like picking me up from the train, taking me to Walmart when I needed to go to Walmart. I didn't have a car. I seen them helping me do all type of things, pick out like get dressed for certain organizations, certain programs that I had, right? Show me how to tie a certain type of knot in a tie. You know what I mean? Like all this type of stuff. I've seen these individuals show other young men how to do these things. And my father's always been in my life. My father just didn't know how to do their Windsor knot in a tie. You know what I mean? He just didn't know how to do their Windsor knot in the tie. But these other men in fraternities helped me to along my journey to be who I am today, right? They always looked out for me and they helped other young black men like myself along their journeys to graduation. They inspired me and some of my closest friends to go get master's degrees. One of my friends is getting a doctorate right now. And we saw these other individuals who are in these organizations doing the same thing. And it helped to inspire us to be more than just average, but to be exemplary, right? And that's why, we became attracted to these organizations. We've seen these organizations do so much good for black folks, and I can never just completely throw all the organizations under the bus because of the actions of a small few, man. Again, I made the point about black people being tribal because black people will, they will attach themselves to whatever they feel like can bring them out of the poverty-stricken mindset or out of poverty in general. And that's what happens when people go to college and they see these fraternities. They want to elevate to the prominence of what they see their professors. Their professors are in the fraternities at the HBCUs, and they become successful individuals with doctorate degrees, successful businessmen, and a whole other slew of things. So I can never just jump on bandwagon with the disdain towards black fraternities and sororities. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I've seen these organizations do way more good than bad, and I've seen them particularly help black people who are in need of it. Help black communities that are ailing, give back to them. Feed a lot of. I seen them feed a lot of black babies all the time. I seen them help a lot of black kids. When I was in school, I promise y'all, when I was a member of, I'm still a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. When I was on campus and I was active and I was helping to sponsor kids. When they had certain events that they had to do, they had to get shirts and ties for certain things. They had to get certain clothes for school or whatever. Like for real, I've seen other brothers that was nowhere near campus sponsoring kids all the time, so they can get clothes, so they can wear graduation clothes that they can wear for all different type of events, school picture day, or whatever. So I can never down talk these organizations, man, because they were started off to do good for black people, just like a lot of people say that the gangs were started off to do good for black people, but these organizations are still doing great for black people to this day. And the examples that I've named are a member. These examples that I named are members of these organizations. Colin Kaepernick, Bill Russell. You know what I mean? Like all these, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an alpha. Like all these other individuals were a part of these organizations that help black individuals recognize that, you know what, we can rise above these racial oppression that we facing, and we can make these people respect us, but at the same time give our people self-respect, and still self-respect within our people to let us realize that, you know what, we are more than what they say we are, and we can overcome anything. And that's why I became a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Peace.